Third and deciding game in this BO3 of the League Cup finals between KeeN and DoD is just about to begin, and what have the gods decided? It's gonna be Marsh. I think that's gonna suit everyone here. So let's check the starting positions, and let's start with DoD again. You can see at PokerStar, really not a problematic position. He doesn't see his back gold, but he'll discover it soon enough, I guess. While Briefcase has his second gold right in his base. Oh, without any problem, he'll be quite fine. And next gold right there, so he's quite covered. For Hellenic, he at this point also doesn't see any back gold, so we'll have to look for it a bit. And looking at Symptom's position, you'll have to do a bit of searching. As you can see, not many players actually see their second hunts anytime, anywhere soon, or rather close, I would say. Only Grand Monster sees some nice hippo and aurochs. Actually, these are called water buffaloes here. And how about Nyan? Yeah, he also doesn't see very nicely where his another hunt is. It's just there. Some nice two hippos and ostriches. Yeah, cranes. All these animals here. Let's look at the relics, because this map is always bountiful on those. Cheaper titans cost. When we could see the last game, they actually came in handy, and was this pharaoh actually carrying Toxos, chariots, throwing axemen, and Arcus hit points. Quite nice. Another relic here. Infantry attack versus titans. Okay. That's not one you would kill over. And Archer Ballista, Chair Ballista, Pierce attack. Well, that's quite nice. That's gonna serve anyone nicely. Let's look at the DCs right now. These two actually look, there are this one and this one are yellows. So he doesn't have any forward one. While Teal has, this one is between him and Symptom. It's kind of a strategic position. Slightly closer to him, but not really all that close. It's kind of middle. And Blue definitely got the better deal here. Another relic, buildings crush armor, that's awesome for everybody. Another building LOS, that's very great. You can see a whole lot. Plus 8 points, that's very far away. And cheap, wow, faster infantry actually. Oh, that's going to be very exciting to see. It's going to be very fast battles there. Looking at the other TCs, these two, okay, this one is actually Nyan's, and this one is Grand Monster, so that's very forward there, and that's also kind of middle of the map, and that's going to be very strategic position right there, while this on the peninsula is obviously very vulnerable to who owns this kind of water, this one also, but it's not really in a terrible position for Briefcase, because of this all this water, it's not really close to his enemy Nyan, so it's kind of okayish. Not great, but okayish. And what's this? That's a food trickle. Anyone should be really getting that very soon. Let's check the guys. Symptom is actually preparing for an upgrade here. He's already building his temple, and Grand Monster actually has his temple already up. So he'll be advancing at an okayish time. Nyan is actually advancing. He'll be at a very decent time. It's going to be 4:30. And how's it looking? Yeah, Briefcase will be very close to him, and we can see that PokerStar, what you would expect in Sendegi. He's just gathering very nice relics, and he gathered one I missed, Villager Gold Gatherate. Oh, that's like the golden grail for for an Eggy. Well, that's going to be very brutal for ISIS on Prosperity. It's going to be like robbing a bank. And another ISIS in the hands of Hellenic is actually also coming up right now, and he has the foot trick one. Alright. He's going for another temple, as you would expect, the standard Loki strat for some Heresier spam. But will he actually try some brutal raid in here? We'll see. We'll see. Right now, Grand Monster is just playing it safe and trying to protect himself from whatever is coming from his enemies. He's just walling up. And the Nyan is actually very easy to wall. He can place nice wall here and here, and he's pretty much safe. So there's very nice position for him actually defensively. And if he wants, he can actually take this choke point. But actually, if someone manages to take this choke point, that's going to be a very big deal here. Hellenic obviously trying to protect himself with some nice walls, and is actually Symptom ready to do something here. Yeah, his Heresiers are coming up. Let's see how are things looking here. Is this enough to go for a nice fight here? Yep, right now he's going for some interesting thingies. And the Nyan is ready in as well. Yeah, as I was saying, this is a very nice choke point, and KeeN are seeing this and are actually trying to wall this up. Well, he has a long way to go, and Hellenic is very nicely walled, so he has to go looking for what he needs to do. Yellow is also trying to wall up and has taken this relic, and he's probably trying to get back to his home here. Really not much fighting going on. Just now Nyan seems to be happy with his army and is trying to go forward. And he'll be fighting some army from Briefkeys. Yeah, this will be a nice AT 1v1. Haha, we can see that Symptom is actually doing a very nice job here. Actually counter-walling PokerStar. It's going to be helping a lot, actually. It's very nicely played. And yes, Hellenic is going for fast heroic. He has just moved his release into gold, and Blacksmith is almost up. And how's it looking for PokerStar? Is he trying something similar? He's not. He's just building classical army to actually defend against a rush that they were expecting. And right now we have this first serious fights in the middle. And we can see that blue is trying to trade the fun here. He's actually trying to wall PokerStars in and Hellenic as well. And we can see that Nyan was actually kinda hoping to do something against Briefkeys. Grand Monster is helping him through Forest Fire, but that seems to be pretty much wasted at this point. No wheelies here at all. He was just trying to catch the army, but Briefkeys wisely decided that he doesn't want to fight there. And he's going for the release. Well, but there's a manner. Very nicely placed. That's actually going to protect him. And we can see that Symptom was going for some willies, but he really shouldn't have, because Yellow was really waiting for him there. Well, while Blue is fighting here, he's also trying to fight on the top, trying to go through the walls, because, quite obviously, Hellenic is already up, and will be pushing up some decent heroic army. Chariot archers, it seems he will be doing mainly, and that's of course what you would expect against the Herser army. But he's very nicely mixing in some nice Radiant cavalry. That's going to be a very interesting fight here pretty soon. And Hellenic is trying to secure his 30C and actually take it down. But well, he's discovered and Symptom is forcing him to retreat there. And we can see Nyan joining the fight here. That's actually a 2v1, but it's not really all that strong one, because you have the Migdol here and the tower, so that's a lot of shooting things. And we actually have defensive ancestors here. It's definitely going to make KeeNs go back, but that's probably not how Hellenic wanted them to use it. You can see that PokerStar is also in Heroic, so let's see how KeeNs will actually deal with double ISIS in Heroic. That's a very strong play. Very strong play. This position, KeeN really aim to fortify this. This Year in Spring really tells you everything you need to know. KeeNs are aiming to build this TC, and Symptom is right now going for it. Just now Siegewehr is coming up for Hellenic, so that might be a bit too late, and this TC will actually come up, it seems. He really needs it because he has foodies here and he needs to be secure. And let's look at the briefcase. He's just right now going for Nyan, but Nyan has already taken his TC and he has a defensible position here. Even though briefcase has very nice army, probably popped at 2 TCs. You can see that, well, Nyan should be able to defend this kinda okayish, especially when Grand Monster is helping him. In the middle, Grand Monster was able to wall this up, well, not for long, but KeeN definitely realized that this is a very important position and needs to be secured as much as they can. You can see a lot of purple all around Red's base, so that's some nice job on the raiding. And we can also see that KeeN is kinda successfully catching up with him and doing all he can to actually stop the raiding. Delete the armies here. And Symptom is going through the middle, right into PokerStar. He has abandoned his attempts at the left and is now trying to actually secure this position in the middle. And it seems he'll be going for this 30C. Will he actually take it? Well, he will, it seems. And right now, Briefcase doesn't have all that much army here, so this will be a free take. And that means 1 TC less for KeeNs. That was all the destruction blue needed. And we have another TC up, and Symptom is right now at 3, and will be at 4 actually. He's building his 4th right now. And well, Hellenic is trying to push through here, but he's facing a hard time right now. And we can see still some raiding from Briefcase, but not really all that brutal here. And here we have PokerStar teaming up with Briefcase and actually trying to do something against Symptom here. Well, this TC is going to be a trouble. Oh well. This is the cavalry. This will be the massacre. And PokerStars actually decided to use Ancestors. Will they turn the battle? If actually Symptom can position his archers against those, it might be a waste here. Okay, so this battle is going for the KeeN, and we have to look here, because Hellenic is finally pushing through Symptom, who is very occupied on the right side. He doesn't really have any army on the left, so that's a good spot to attack for Hellenic, who is just on 1 TC. He definitely needs to grab another one here. Can't really fight 1 TC against all those of his enemies. And at this point it really seems that this middle position is looking kinda okay for KeeN. They are having to fight for it, of course, well, it's kinda understandable. But right now, when actually Hellenic was able to push through a Symptom here, Symptom will be forced to do something near his base, because otherwise he will be just slaughtered and he can't really afford that. So this will be an even battlefield here, because as long as Symptom was kinda more on the right side, it was really the decisive factor there. But right now, when he can actually amass army right next to his home, he can do a lot of damage against Hellenic here. The TC is up, as was expected. This attack is repelled, and how's it looking here? Focus Tower trying to use some of its siege towers against the TC, but those nice dwarves are all it takes to actually take down siege towers because of their bonus against siege units. But right now Briefkeys is winning this battle here, and he'll be probably taking this TC, it seems. And here we have the Frost, and Hellenic is right now without an active army. Or well, he has just this army, and well, Symptom really should make use of this. He probably just needs to recuperate right now, because he's been dealt a lot of damage. And this TC is down, and well, is anybody going to take it? Well, right now Briefcase is doing the smart thing. He needs to really do some dogs here to protect the TC and prevent KeeNs from actually taking it from him through siege ships. And right now, after the interestingly frozen units there, they are just forced to go back, and well, that's not really too much of a problem for Hellenic, because he'll be able to defend his position right now quite nicely. And is he probably preparing for his back TC? Well, he should. The same goes for Pokestar. They are fighting an uphill battle here in the TCs, 2-2-2, 3-4-2, so they should really be doing something interesting there. Otherwise, they are running a serious risk of getting very far behind. And as you can see, Nyan has a huge army. And is actually able to do a lot of stuff against both of his enemies. Blue is aiming to join the fight, but just decided otherwise, it seems. So there's not really going to be double help here. And Red is still advancing against two of his enemies. So what are exactly Green and Blue doing? Are they actually preparing for some Nice attack. We have 9 through Helios. And Symptom is still just classical. Okay, so that might be the problem here. But there isn't anything else going on. Nicely stolen 3 from Nyan. And he'll be able to use some more Dryads here. And we have a Vortex. And that's some defensive one. Sorry, I missed where it was going. It was probably just to save all his guys. Ah, it was going right here. Into the bottom. To actually go for a DC. Well, he did it not just transport all these guys that were fighting in the top, but to actually transport the army that was in his base and was too far away to actually do anything. Luckily for DoD, they seem to be able to defend this quite nicely in the duo. But right now, Symptom is again having the 30C, but sea ships are in place and they should be taking down DC soon enough. Now the middle is more and more in Grand Monster's domain. He's really eating through the middle, and that's very nicely done, and will help him immensely because he won't have very far away to battle. Here we can see Hellenic doing some mercenary spam again. And KeeNs are actually trying to push. Well, but at this point it won't really be all that long-lived, it seems, because mercenaries should really take care of this kind of easily. And how's it looking with the ages, actually? Someone should really be advancing into Mythical from those eggy guys. But they don't really seem interested so far. They are fine with their heroics. So let's see how it actually pans for them. Grand Monster was really pushing through the middle, but right now PokerStar is trying to put a stop to that. And this DC Symptom is really trying very hard to keep it up, trying to build some walls. And Briefkey's not really paying attention here, it seems. Well, Hellenic really not picking a right fight here. He should have a bit went a bit back with his chariots to actually do some micro here. But Symptom did a nice job defending, and at this point this is kind of a stalled battle here. And we have Grand Monster through Balder right now going Ragnarok. And well, let's see if this is actually a decisive push right now going on. It will be interesting to see to what side actually Grand Monster decides to go. If he decides to go against Hellenic or through the middle. Right now it seems we'll be seeing a very nice double from Grand Monster and Symptom on Hellenic. Well, let's see if actually Yellow catches on to that and goes to help his teammate. And that's a lot. And we can see that Yellow army is engaged elsewhere on the right, actually defending against Nyan, and a bit of the green Ragnarok is more coming. yeah, more is coming, so Grand Monster is trying to push on both sides, and right now Hellenic is in a very tough spot. Do they have flaming weapons? Just Symptom. And he is not opting to use them as now. But these KeeN heroes with very nice upgrades. That's a destruction derby. DoD Hellenic just now advancing through Osiris. Well, let's hope for dots that it's not too late. Let's have a quick look at the bottom, where actually yellow and purple are having to fight Nyan at 40 Cs and part of Grand Monster's Ragnarok. And we can see that Son of Osiris is seeing battle here, and Symptom is securing yet another TC. This means that Hellenic will be limited just to. He'll be able to make up for it with his mercenaries from his main TC. The trade is still going on without too much trouble. But still, this could be an interesting point at the game. But definitely shouldn't be KeeN's fighting separately here. Just Grand Monster's heroes without Symptom. And yes, Symptom, are you going there or are you just going to sacrifice Grand Monster's guys? Well, at this point it seems like another wasted Ragnarok that didn't really do all that much. We can see very nice upgrades from PokerStar as well. Nyan, as you would expect. And right now this is an interesting battle because PokerStar is able to push through on Nyan here. And Grand Monster is right now without too much of an echo because of the Ragnarok, and he pretty much lost all his guys. And he doesn't have much now. Can Symptom actually make this count? That's what we're going to see in the next minutes. The middle is really a page battle here, with Grand Monster going for full army here as much as he can. And we can see the dragon helping here. While on the top, well, nicely used siege workshop right next to the TC to actually annoy Symptom, but that's all it does, annoy at this point. And looking at the TCs, DoD have decided at disadvantage because Nyan and Symptom are at 4, while Hellenic and Briefkey is at 2. So this really all depends if KeeN can actually keep the advantage and wear their opponents off. The middle, slowly but surely, is going for KeeN. We can see that Grand Monster is using all he can, and he's really successfully pushing PokerStar at this point. While at the same time Nyan is able to push Briefkeys back. Well, no wonder 4 versus 2 TCs, right? 4 are the upgrades. Okay, decent-ish. Could do better, but kinda okay. And green trying to go right into the middle of the military buildings here. It's kinda successful, it seems. So if we can put forward some more siege units such as this ballista, then he might be having a good chance of actually doing something here. But right now he's going to lose, it seems. And let's look how is it looking at the top. And we have meteors against an army. Sorry, but that seems like an utter waste. Alright. These were the nice meteors. But we can see it didn't do all that much, and KeeNs are still pushing into the base. And on the top, well, finally we see some ballistas here as well. That's all you need, and we also see some mercenaries. That's going to account for the missing TC there quite nicely. And since Symptom is not really going anywhere on the top because of the mercenaries, he decided that he might help his friends in the middle, and that might not be a bad idea, because if he can stall Hellenic at the top, any help here to actually kill Briefcase will be enough to win the game. And at this point it really seems that Briefcase is drawing the short straw here. And the TC is down, and further disadvantage for Briefcase, who doesn't really have all that much left here, especially when he's being hammered at his last TC as well. And that's the GG. There goes the GG from DoD. And KeeN have actually won the RTS League Cup for Season 23. Congratulations! By some very nice efforts here. We have seen 3 cool games with interesting plays. And how's it looking here? Is it 1v1 between Symptom and Hellenic till the end, or GG? Bad map for dots? I wouldn't really say so, it wasn't that horrible. It was kinda okay-ish. But KeeNs really played well here, and since they were playing Tundra, their first home map, and they won, it was better for their team, and maybe that's what PokerStars actually meant, that KeeNs are much better on the land map. Let's check the post game. Again, very nice civilian units from Hellenic, but this time it wasn't enough to actually turn the game around. Again, decentish from Grand Monster. And at least now we don't see the most use in it as mercenaries. That's one good thing you always want to see. Alright, congrats and GG.